Hello everyone, Forest Green here, back with another video. So today's video will actually be a prediction video on Death Battle's Guy, or Guy Sensei, or Might Guy, or however you want to say his name, from Naruto versus All Might from My Hero Academia. I do apologize, I'm getting over this stupid cold, so I apologize if I sound goofy, because my nasal passage is still congested, so bear with me. But anyway, I will be going over both of these powerhouses and breaking down their attack potency, durability, speed, skill, intelligence, etc, etc. And also, a huge big shout out to Korin O'Keefe for helping me with the research. Please go and subscribe to Korin O'Keefe's channel, link shall be in the description. So let's begin. So the first character I will start with is Guy. So Guy is known to be an incredibly skilled ninja, graduating from the academy at age 7, where the average age is around 13 to 14, and becoming a chunin at age 11, which is quite impressive. Very young age. But anyway, I'm gonna work my way up with Guy. So I'm gonna talk about the attack potency. I'm gonna talk about the gates and so on and so forth. So basically, Guy in 6th gate, so 6th gate Guy. His attack potency is around large island level to small country level, because he scales above every member of the Akatsuki, as these members are actually stated to rival the Biju. This makes sense for Guy Sensei because of him being able to actually fight Madara Uchiha. 7 gate Guy is easily moon level to a small planet. This is because he was able to somewhat damage Madara, and was stated that he could have given him trouble. Madara, even in his base form, performed multi-continent level stuff, like when he summoned the meteors from outer space at almost sub-relativistic speeds. But of course, this is Madara after absorbing the 10-tailed beast, and the 10-tailed beast was compared to the size of a small planet while not even completed. So this is kind of like a low-end feat in a sense. But yeah, that's pretty much it for 7 gate Guy. Easily around like moon level plus to small planet. Again, he was able to easily tango with Madara, but obviously it was getting to the point where Madara was still above Guy to some extent. But Guy was able to tango, and obviously Guy needed to amp himself really quickly, so that's why he used the 8 gates. But speaking of 8 gates, 8 gate Guy is easily planet level, because he was able to severely damage this same Madara and almost killed him. And the only reason Madara survived was because of his massive regeneration capabilities. You know, how even Madara admits that Guy would have killed him, and even complimented Guy as being the best taijutsu fighter, taijutsu user he's ever faced. Like, even Madara was even, bowing and topping his hat off and saying, hey, yeah, we may be enemies, but hey, I respect you. And even, like Madara himself, he was like, even during the fight, he was shitting himself. He was like, oh my fucking god, I actually gotta take the Guy seriously. He's gonna actually fuck me up. But yes, that's pretty much it for the attack potency. So I'm going to go on to speed. So 6th and 7th gate Guy are easily relativistic to relativistic plus. Scaling from KCM Naruto, who was able to dodge the 4th Raikage's lariat. Keep in mind, the 4th is confirmed to have near light speed lariats, and these near light speed lariats are not even his fastest attacks. And Naruto dodged one of his, if not his fastest punch. Also, Guy being able to somewhat keep up with Madara in the 7 gates, as well as I mentioned, with the scaling, how the Madara and Guy were able to tango. Even he was being able to somewhat, keep up with him, and even show that even in 7 gates, despite the fact that 7 gates wasn't enough, which is why he had to enter the 8th gates to really put Madara, in place, really put Madara in check. That still proves that he is relativistic, relativistic to relativistic plus in around those scales of speed in 6th and 7th gate. But Guy is absolute best. So in his 8th gates, his 8 gate form, you could easily get him to FTL, fast and light, no difficulty, definitely, as he was running so fast with his raw speed. During his fight with Madara, he was literally bending space around him, which is quite impressive. I wish I could do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the speed. Onto the skill. So Guy is a highly skilled ninja and taijutsu master, and he has tons of experience and skill. He's definitely no slouch. He has many strong striking attacks and signature attacks and abilities that he's created while going up in the gates. So when he unlocks a gate, he gets to use certain abilities. So but this is just his generic stuff. So his generic stuff is like his signature Leaf Hurricane, where he spin kicks his opponent with force. So I think, is it like a Tatsumaki Senpuken, or I think it might be like a Demon Roundhouse. But it's a very powerful kick. But when he enters in his gates, so I think when he starts to get higher up in the gates, so he can use things like the front lotus, reverse lotus, which he obtains when he enters the inner gates. In the 6th gates, Guy produces a series of rapid punches that ignite his hands through air friction, what he calls the morning peacock. With the 7th gate, he launches concentrated air pressure at his opponents that violently expand on contact, creating what he calls his one-hit KO move. Then we got the daytime tiger. With the 8th gate, his punches create powerful shockwaves of air that can be used from a distance. What Guy calls the evening elephant, which also with the 8th gate, he has Night Guy, a single kick of such speed that the space around him is distorted. Night Guy, though it almost killed Madoru Uchiha as the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, is responsible for the irreparable damage to Guy's right leg. As for hacks, Guy does not have any hacks, as his skills and abilities are all based on hand-to-hand combat and martial arts, mixed with attacking his opponent with fast, short burst attacks infused with chakra to put his enemies down. So again, when he enters in the gates, he uses the chakra, of course, to amp himself, and then of course inflict devastating attacks and damage to his opponent. As he's unable to utilize ninjutsu, because he's quite similar to Lee, but he can perform a summoning jutsu. He does have that turtle or tortoise or whatever it is. As for intelligence, Guy may look like a fitness fanatic, but when it comes down to serious situations, Guy is very smart and cunning. During the fight with Kisame and Itachi, when they first invaded the Leaf Village, Guy was able to come up with a tactic on fighting Itachi by focusing his eyes on his feet rather than looking at him through eye contact, so that he would not succumb to Itachi's genjutsu. He's also very familiar with certain things, so he can spot when someone is a skilled fighter and such. I can't remember what episode of Naruto it was. I think it was a filler. I can't remember, but basically it was when Rock Lee, when he was young, he fought against this kid who pretended to be a novice. He pretended to be a rookie, but this kid was actually quite skilled and performed this like knee to elbow. It's a type of like disarming type of move where you use to break your opponent's leg. And if Rock Lee didn't have his training anklets on, he would have fucking broke his leg. And Guy was like, no, this kid ain't no fucking novice. This kid's, that's like an intermediate technique that could put someone out for good. But yeah, things like that. So Guy is pretty intelligent. He's not like a dumbass or anything. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Guy. I'm gonna go and talk about All Might. So I'm gonna work my way up with All Might. So I'm gonna talk about the version. So I'm gonna talk about Prime All Might, and I'm gonna talk about the nerfed All Might. So with his injuries, I'll also talk a little bit about Remnant All Might, which is his skinny form, like he's really like not his pumped version, like his frail version of himself. So for attack potency, starting off with Prime All Might at his best, he's easily around large island level to small country at his best. The reason why I have him around this level is because nerfed All Might's Detroit Smash brought a thunderstorm from at least 13 kilometers away, causing this large storm like causing a large storm like this would easily be calced to be around like large mountain up to island level. And of course, because All Might back then, Prime All Might, before he completely lost the ability to keep his strength up at those and fight at those levels, he constantly had to push himself, whereas in his prime he could do it with little to no difficulty. But anyway, as he's mentioned it before, just like when he was fighting against the Nomu, that back in his heyday, in his prime, his absolute best, it would have just taken 5 punches to put that thing out, where it took him it took him 300 punches. But yeah, that's just another thing I wanted to add into this. But yeah, as I was saying, large island up to island level. Large mountain up to island level. Which is why most say he's likely large island to small country at his best, so in his prime before he got injured, as his prime is much stronger than his weakened self, who performed a large mountain to island level feat. So that's pretty much it for the attack potency. As for durability, it's pretty much the same as his attack potency, so that's pretty much standard. If you can take what you can dish out, then that's pretty much your attack and durability right there. But I will mention this little low end, little interesting feat. So even like All Might at his worst, so in his skinny form, he was able to take a small city level blast from Awful One, and was still able to keep fighting during the fight where they were both fighting, and Skinny All Might was getting his ass whooped somewhat. And that's pretty much it for the durability. So as for speed, All Might is also known as one, if not the fastest characters in My Hero Academia, which would put him far above other characters who have been able to dodge a light speed laser. So All Might in his prime, so at his best, you could easily get him, you could argue baseline FTL. But in his nerfed version, so in his nerfed state, his weakened state, he should easily be around relativistic plus. As for skills, All Might has some impressive moves. So he has moves like the United States of Smash, All Might's final move, in which he concentrates all of his remaining power into a single downward strike that is powerful enough to break through all Awful One's enchantments. Enhancement quirks and incapacitate him. However, after this move is complete, All Might will lose his use of Awful One forever. One for All forever. My bad. He has another move called the New Hampshire Smash. All Might's blasts himself towards his enemy and smashes his body into him, crushing and injuring them with his great weight. The Oklahoma Smash. All Might whirls around while enemies have latched onto him, spinning with enough force so that when they are released, they are easily thrown through concrete. California Smash, All Might's attacks. He attacks with a frontal somersault leading into a downward punch. This move was first used against a villain when he was studying abroad the United States. Nebraska Smash, All Might rotates his arm while throwing a punch to create a tornado. This move was first used to destroy a swarm of 200 mini bombers. So that's pretty much it for his like skills and his signature like moves and such. So I'm gonna go on to intelligence. So All Might is actually quite smart. He's not some meathead. All Might was the top ranked hero in Japan for his countless acts of heroism, having spearheaded multiple operations against villainous teams and saving countless lives during large-scale disasters. He is an expert in hand-to-hand combat with an intelligence to match his strength, deducing that Nomu's shock absorption had a limit and simply kept beating him until he went over that limit. In terms of hacks, similar to Guy, All Might doesn't have any hacks. His primary way of fighting and his strategy is to attack his opponent with brute force and inflict physical harm to his enemies, as he's more like a brawler. He likes to fight with a lot of friction and force. So he's a beat 'em up fighter. Okay, so that's pretty much it for both combatants. As for my prediction on who will win the death battle, who will win the fight, I'll have to give it to my Guy. So, if we look at it from a subjective standpoint, I do love both these characters, but of course we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about who would win in an actual fight going off logic. So, I'm going to explain why. So, if this was a fight, so it depends. So, if we're talking base Guy and even like nerfed All Might, then it's a complete stomp. Then yeah, I'd give it to All Might purely because he has the attack potency and the durability, and even though they are both relative to each other in terms of speed, the speed gap isn't that big, so they can definitely compete against each other. In that scenario, then All Might wins. But if we're using Sith, like 6 and 7 gate Guy, Guy takes this easily. He takes it pretty much. Like if he goes into 7th gates, it's a stomp. He doesn't even need to go into 8th gates, because if he goes into 7th gates, he's easily like moon level plus to like small planet level, and one leaf hurricane, one fucking what is it? The morning peacock. It's GG no re. Even if All Might and Guy can somewhat react to each other, if All Might gets clapped with that, it's GG, and plus All Might is not going to get through that moon level durability. 6th gate Guy, sixth gate Guy, you could argue it's actually a little more closer because that they'd be more relative. Because, sorry, excuse me, just needs a quick cough. Because 6th gate Guy is around like large island level to small country. If we were using like All Might at his best, it would be you could argue it could anyone could take it at that point because they're relative. If we use 6th gate Guy, but really and truly, because obviously if we use if we use nerfed All Might, it's GG no re. Guy is just going to smack All Might all day. And of course, this is the reason why I give it more to Guy over All Might. So if we use 8th gate Guy, even though Guy does die, I give it to him. I give it to Guy in this scenario. 10 out of 10, no difficulty. He's just gonna blitz and then just kick All Might's fucking head off. Just Night Guy GG, or Evening Elephant GG, or just a fucking an amped punch. It's GG. It's no contest. It's not even no difficulty. 7 gate Guy, I give it to him. 8 times out of 10, I really don't see All Might being able to get through, guys, 7th gate guys' durability is going to be too much for him. And even though they are relative in somewhat in speed, again, it's just Guy is just way too monstrous. He's too overwhelming. So I give that to Guy, 8 times out of 10, or even 9 times out of 10. I'm just being a little nice. 6th gate Guy, I'd say I'd give it to Guy. Probably like 6 or 6.5 out of 10. Again, it's more close because they're more respective in terms of attack potency and durability. But overall, I don't see All Might winning this, I'm afraid. All Might just doesn't have the attack potency or the durability to deal with Guy's crazy crazy amps. His 8 gates. His gates are too much, and the crazy advantage he gets from it. He gets buffed. He gets amped from it. So that's pretty much it for the video. That's pretty much it for my prediction video. Again, if anyone else has predicted Guy wins, and hey, let's see who, leave your thoughts down in the comment section who you think's gonna win. But yeah, going off the statistics, going off the facts, and going off the research, I see Guy winning this a lot more often than not. So, but yes, folks, that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you all for tuning in. Forest Green, signing out. Subscribe to your channel, subscribe to your boy, subscribe to Korins, subscribe to my channel, and of course, I'll see you folks on the next one. Peace.